Alright, let's get this show match on the road. And what a draft they have here. So all these, this is a co-op show match, best of three. Arranged by Sir Smoke-A-Lot, Sir Smokes-A-Lot. Co-op tournament upcoming in their Discord. Little community tournament where all the games are played on one map. The Two Worlds, which has both Arabia and Arena in the same map generation. So yeah, here's the draft for the best of three show match, and what they draft, it's inspired by Masters of Arena, the most recent one, clearly, because we have a lot of bands here. And then eventually you get to the picking as well, but no, you're not just picking, no, there's some crap map cup inspiration in the draft here, I think, as well, for a couple of Civilization steals in the end. So, interesting stuff. Just give me a small moment here to get this sorted. Right, so not the worst of options here after all. I wonder if you'd want to have Hans in this this matchup maybe, or this kind of format, because not having to build houses, I would consider that a huge advantage in a co-op situation where you have to communicate all the time and share what you do and control different areas of the map. So someone probably has to handle economy and someone has to handle micromanagement, but maybe you also want to play the map in a way that one player controls the closed side and one controls the open side. And then what do you do when you have two different strategies at play at once? Malians, Koreans, Vikings, Vietnamese here. Malians stolen over to this side, whereas Bohemians got stolen from Hoy's side. Good for closed maps, of course, monk rushes, but also good on open maps with the Hofnitze for the late game. Anyway, let's go for the first match here. This is a best of three Coop pro match. Two worlds. I'll just call it something like that. Let's go. So it's a 2 TC start, so obviously there's going to be some idle TC time to begin with. I wonder if they split that up. Oh, they've been communicating well here. They've been splitting the resources, so they make sure to queue villagers in each of the TCs. So each player on the queues, one or two villagers, depending. So obviously there's going to be some idle TC time here. See that for Team Illusionist already. Tatars, probably handy to have here as well. You get extra food from the sheep, and you have 2 town centers yielding that extra food, 50% extra food. So that's going to help your start once you can get the food situation sorted. Poles, good one as well. Folwark, providing population space, making you housed less often. And also giving you a food boost once you start seeding farms around the Folwark. Deer pushing and boar luring here. These are no rookies. These players, I would say they are at least in the... or I don't know exactly their reloads, but Hoy has been close to or past the 2k elo mark, I think. So they're high level players for sure. Gonna need some all around 2k2 plus. Yeah, okay. So high elo for sure for this co-op matchup. It's called Two Worlds Arena Arabia, and it's version 1.3. Here's the thing, there's walls here. That's just to make sure you can't interfere with, say, Khmer Ballista Elephant Cut or anything. So it's kind of Michil-like on this Arena side. But these walls, as far as I've understood, they will be auto-deleted at minute 40 in-game. And then you can start some on-the-go cut shenanigans if you want to make the map real open and messy here. But for now, it's going to play out with two matchups of Poles versus Tatars here on either side. Arabia on this side and Arena on this side. Poles better monks than Tatars, but you can't really sustain a monk rush and a, say, knights or archers rush at the same time, even with 2 TC start. I think we'll see how it plays out. Idle TC time still an issue here. They both have as much on food as they can, but you need wood as well for houses for your multiple town center villagers production. And a pretty decent idle TC time for both still, considering that you start with the standard food and you have to try to keep two town centers running at all times still. So this is what it looks like to the players. They obviously have one scout on either side as well, but they can't use like 2 starting scouts to rush the opponent because it's all on they're on either side like this. So smaller Arabia on this side, smaller arena on this side, 3 relics to contest just like you would want to on arena. So there's probably, if they feel like, ooh, that's unfortunate. Deleting the walls here at the Tatars, but leaving this side open. Probably didn't know about that once deleted the walls. That's a little bit of a map gen failure as well, that walls don't stretch all the way to the edge. But yeah, here comes a villager to build a couple of houses. Gonna need those houses anyway. But will the red team realize that that's happened on the other side and use that weak spot to their advantage? I guess it's an easy re-wall behind here, so no harm done, but still probably annoying to have to send the villager all the way over here to close this gap. Also making sure to start the foundation just in case the opposing scout is lurking around this area. Ooh, bad news for the Poles here with a couple of the sheep still not found in this black area here. It could work into the blue player's advantage. Food count, feudal age click is in for the both of them. Identical feudal age app times here. 37 pop, which should mean that at least, I guess, the Arabia side is probably going for a Scouts style opening here because they're focusing heavily on food. APM, that's going to be interesting to follow in a matchup like this because it's essentially 2 players playing for on one color, so the APM should be higher than most single players usually achieve. Well, we've gone to stone. Could also be a tower rush here. That's 6 on stone, which will also yield a temporary amount of gold. But it could also be that they've communicated on this arena side that that they want to go for a forward castle and push with whatever kind of unit on the arena side of things. Illusionist spotting these 2 sheep, but I think red is gonna spot them. Okay, so blue kind of did red a favor there, sending in a couple of sheep. Not that there's much underneath the DC to take this. Great forward block placement with the berries there to be partly covered by the town center as well. I also wonder, when you have 2 DC start like this, can you effectively go fast castle on the arena side to drop a forward castle? You probably can't, right? But here comes the market, and I guess the blacksmith might pop up on the other side. Or it's a market stable by the looks of it now. So building the stable on this side and not on the arena side to claim the middle control here. I guess they're more needed on the open side after all, as red gets the last poke in here and gets to take out the scout on the right hand side. Okay, they're both going castle age, 48 villagers, so the economy has started ticking in now. Lots on wood here. I don't know why they have that many of wood, but I guess you are going to need military buildings on both sides, not to mention the farming, so that's probably the reason why they have so much on wood. Looks like they've been relocated a little bit on the other side here now, actually. All of the folk, that's interesting. I wonder if both teams have done that. There's a preemptive defensive tower on the goal. Always nice to have a A tower at the ready. That's the red scouting paying off here, seeing the double range from the blue side over here. And I was gonna say there's no wood harvesting at all for the red team over here, whereas the blue team are harvesting wood on both sides. I'm not sure how that's if that's going to be relevant, but we'll see. Expanding that farming economy now, and slowly but steadily getting that tower finish on the gold to defend from the first wave of archers. Scouts now in production on this side. As mentioned before, castle edge timing on point as well. That's a good pick off there for, or not a pick off, but delaying that stable quite a bit from the off the blue team there. So the castle edges are in. We're quite heavy on the stone for Team Hoy. Yet here comes a TC. So playing the eco game on the arena side here. Doesn't seem to be the same approach by Illusionist. Over here, eco situation still comparable, but triple range cavalry archers now for Team Illusionist over here, whereas the red players are going for the stable and knights opening. That's not to the favor of the Poles necessarily, because the cavalry archers do move faster than the knights by default. So the cavalry archers can always hit and run, and being the Tatars, they also get instant thumbering. But let's see if the tower defense is enough to keep things going here. 4 town centers now for red, only 3 for blue for the time being. But both teams securing their bases and core economy, setting it up for the long game eventually. Yeah, Knight's not really getting any value over here. Does get to idle some of Blue's economy, and that means that Team Blue is going to fall further behind here. There are 5 builders behind by now, but if that triple town center, or let's say quadruple town center economy starts kicking in because of the Poles farming bonus, then we're going to be looking at a serious eco lead for red. No attempt at collecting the relics yet. I guess they have to conserve the resources to spend them on the Arabia side here, because Arena after all has the stone walls. Unless you've scouted this side as red, but it doesn't look like there's any scout here to gain any intel on the weak spot over here. Scorpion defense, that's a good effort from good idea from the Poles here. That's going to be able to shoot through several cavalry archers. Interestingly enough, the castle goes up on this side for the Poles to further keep the core economy protected from cavalry archer raids. Once this castle completes, of course, there's not going to be any touching the folwark economy from this side, but I mean, I guess they're not really stressing the fact that the arena side is also a thing here. Looks like they might be, yeah, mainly expanding the economy on the closed side. At least that's the initiative of the red team here, whereas Team Illusionist are going much heavier on the military and have to do a lot more damage now in the early game to really get rewarded for that, because they're definitely... Okay, they're not falling that far behind, I have to say. They're only 10 builders behind at this stage in the game. Eco upgrades better for Team Hoy though, and very consistent triple town center production here. 20 more villagers and you're essentially fully boomed, and could try to start focusing on the arena side as well, whatever the plan might be for that. Tatars, not exactly a famous arena civ, but they are decent enough on Arabia. Mid-tier civilization maybe, so one would have to favor the Poles here, but there's a draft for more civs to use later, so maybe we'll see a turnaround for the next game. In comes the unique technology for the Poles, so now the knights effectively cost 60% less gold. It's going to be especially useful for a map like this where we have to field army on both sides to have a lot cheaper cavalry to benefit from. Scorpion defense working out here. Forward siege workshop for blue, but villager just now moving there. So it's going to take a while until that siege workshop can complete, and even so, there are dirt cheap knights out and about now on this side. Looks like we have a stable on the arena side for red as well now. Going to contest the middle, try to snag a couple of relics before blue can collect them all. And cavalry archer is not nearly getting the value they need at all. Forward siege workshop, not so forward anymore. I'm guessing we're going to see a mangonel here to try and get a lucky shot in on the scorpions. Oh, blue knights catching the scorpions off guard here. Cavalry archers as well dancing around. Getting good trades here. Knights picking off almost all of the scorpions. Great value from the blue armies here now. Managed to pick off a few villagers, they did as well. Now mixed in some knights of their own. Tatars have camels as well. A second castle for the Poles now. Really trying to secure the core resources on the Arabia side here. But obviously with all of the cavalry archers on the field and nothing to stand against it, the red team bails on that idea for now. Resources are limited as well on this map, even if there are a few extra gold piles perhaps. So having that extra gold income from stone for the Poles could be key to the long-term victory here. But lots of villagers now going down to the cavalry archers raids. Team Hoi still ahead though. They were earlier to the 4 town centers and have been producing consistently, still producing villagers as well to make sure that to make up for villagers lost. 2 defensive towers here though seems a little bit risky, but I probably communicated that because of the need of the stone on the left hand side for arena here, where we have a forward castle about to be significantly delayed by blue, but not necessarily denied. I guess you could use the monk trick, the hold down the alt key and select different villagers to delay the building, but lots of stuff going on here. Huge cavalry raids from the Poles over here on the Tatars base as well. So great pressure from the red team now, still keeping a narrow economic lead here. Forward castle on the arena side is going to go up and now going for more stone in the back here, denying that very, very forward gold of the illusionist as well, which is value already. Illusionist now deleting the house on the side to move out for a town center. That seems risky with cavalry now on the field for red. But they can't see that for now, so maybe that town center goes up eventually. Trash cavaliers, or knights, sorry, for the Poles. Once again, they're getting value here. Not that many villagers killed this game, but a lot of idle eco. As you can see, the worker efficiency is much, much lower for blue here now because of these raids. Imperial Age also 2 minutes to go for Team Hoi, which means that Cavalier will be kicking in. Tatars struggling a little bit for gold to get up to the next stage, of course, because the gold has been denied over here and has probably been denied on this side as well. I guess that gold is town centerable. But the game is definitely snowballing more into the red team's favor now. This though is a bit of a lack of scouting for the red team here to not see that 4-tile secondary gold of blue being taken freely for now. Little sneak base to the north as well. That's why Illusionist moved further back, wanted to hide that forward siege and presence a little bit. That could be a surprise for the red team, but they have a comfortable lead entering the Imperial Age now. Means that trebuchets could be queued from this castle and potentially stop the Imperial Age TC over here from the Illusionist, actually, if they have that kind of big brain ideas here. Defensive castle in the back now for the Illusionist, going to enter the Imperial Age for a trebuchet war on this side. Yeah, that's the first treb. And that TC is definitely rangeable by that treb. So the first thing you should target here with the trebuchets, that is the town center. both to idle a lot of eco until you get that mill rebuilt, but also to potentially stop Imperial Age from happening. Trebuchet, will it complete in time though? So many castles here as well. They've been, sure, I've been mining a lot of stone on either side here, but some great raids on the top side on Arabia here. Seems like the red team has better teamwork, at least for this matchup, or maybe just a good plan for the Poles overall. Here we see barracks for the Tatars, so a panic switch into halberdiers, but have a look at their blacksmith upgrades. Tatars halberdiers, they're not really going to hold Poles trash cavaliers away that well, because they are lacking so much armor, and Imperial Age and the upgrades already in for Team Hoy here, even getting to pick off some cavalry archers here. 2 castles forward for red and 3 more trebuchets in the queue. These defensive castles won't last long for blue, with that in mind. Did manage to get to the Imperial Age, but is fighting an uphill battle here, the blue team. The only thing that's good news for the blue team is that they still have unobstructed gold access over here, so that's a bit of an oversight in terms of scouting. But look at the Arabia side of the base here. Now only missing the last attack upgrade, which you don't necessarily need to stress for the cavalry situation. They're just full on cavalier spam. 49 cavaliers in the queue. Team Hoy still making good use of that Poles civilization bonus. Fighting at population cap now for Team Hoy. Team Illusionist only about half the military of Team Hoy, and you can see all the red dots here, all the raids going on here. The forward base not really doing anything for the Illusionist team over here. Cavaliers diving into sniper trebuchets. They are expendable. They cost 60% less gold anyway. And blue still keeps moving to the side to scramble for some additional gold. Still hasn't scouted that side TC, so that's technically safe. But the home base on the arena side is not safe at all for Team Illusionist. I think anyone would panic in this situation. Big raids at the Arabia side home base. Just a steady flow of cavaliers coming this way. And trebuchets pounding down your defensive castles on the arena side. At some point, you'll need to delete some army on this arena side to be able to comfortably push the more open side over here. But for now, it's fine to focus on the arena side of things, of course. Still almost 100 villagers for the blue team, so not all this seems lost here, but it's going to take a hell of a comeback to survive this. So much map presence for red on both sides, and the old arena base on blue here, all but it's basically obliterated now, even trapping the markets to make it more awkward to trade resources. I don't think we have a market on this side, so that's going to be awkward for Team Blue as well. The resource situation is dire for the blue team. Yes, gets to mine gold, but probably I would assume the market prices are already a bit steep. University going down as well. So no chemistry if they don't already have it here for the Illusionists cavalry archers. Does look like chemistry is in though, so not that big of a deal. We have cavalry archers defending against the cavalier push here. The Poles cavalier lack the last armor, so they are weaker than a lot of other cavalry civilizations options, but we can see the castles creeping further up on the open side. The arena side of things is just yeah, barely anything left now for the Illusionist. That he actually fights off a cavalier with villagers here, just not overspending military numbers here for Team Hoy, just sending a few cavaliers to make sure that the gold mining can't happen uninterrupted anymore. Now also only 3 more minutes and the middle walls should be auto-deleted. So Silk armor coming in for the cavalry archers, which is basically the only unit of the illusionist here now. But how do you raid these cavalry archers when there are castles everywhere for the red player? You're basically never going to get any particular hits in. Anything here. Saving a couple of builders here for blue. Desperate to try and hold on to this side so as to not have to push through the trees with trebuchets or on the girths to try and reclaim some of the resources on this side. Another forward castle, some skirmishers added now as well. Elite skirmisher coming in, Thambring coming in, chemistry coming in, all of the appropriate upgrades. So rather than slow moving Scorpion's defense, Team Hoi are now focusing all of the military on the Arabia side and even getting some pickups here on the cavalry archers with the small numbers of skirmishers already out on the field. It's 200 pop to 150-ish here now, still a decent economy at work for the illusionist, but now basically confined to the top corner of the map here. Keeps fielding cavalry archers as there's still a tiny gold income here. Now losing cavalry archers to skirmishers. Production seems lacking in the army numbers here. 43, 39 cavalry archer numbers diminishing. Elite skirmishers and cavaliers should be a good combination to deal with cavalry archers only, as is the case for the blue team over here. And now finally the last few villagers about to be taken down by a few raiding cavaliers over here as well. Forward castle failing, so value from the cavalry archers still, but look at the eco difference, look at the military difference, 60 more population for Team Hoi. They have this game in the bag unless something seriously bad happens to the red side. And there it is. So you can see there have been 2 players controlling the situation over here for either team. First match in Team Hoi's hands. Let's have a look at the statistics. Relatively early slot privileges here, but certainly worked out to raid one side to keep it busy, force the blue team to react on the Arabia side while getting a forward castle down on the arena side and start pushing the closed confined side of the map here. You can see since we're past the 40-minute mark, the walls have been auto-deleted as well, so that's what's going to happen in any of these games. If it goes past 40 minutes, you'll suddenly be able to undercut like this was a Michi map or something. So we might see that in other games, who knows? KD quite similar here, in fact, but RD racings. Yeah, KD ratio. These are new stats for me. I have to think about what it means. Relic gold. Almost 20,000 more resources for the Poles, so Poles definitely a good pick here. And 7 castles total. Fun to see the APM chart here because it's 2 players playing, so the numbers will be higher than you'd usually expect. Lots more clicking. Let's go to the draft and make sure to crown the Poles the winner for the first one there. First pick as well. Seemed to work out well for them. And let's see what they come back with next. Vikings should have an edge with the economic advantage. Malians could play out similarly to the Poles when you get to the Imperial Age, get to the Farimba Cavalier. They also have decent monks for a land monk rush. Mayans, plumed archers could dominate especially the open side of the map, and Bulgarians, Kreposts and Convicts for map controls comes to mind. Sicilians. Don't see First Crusade would be a little bit messy, but would be a means to boost your military numbers in a heartbeat should you need it. But obviously a good cavalry civilization and some good economy as well with the farms, farms yielding more food. Let's go for game 2. We have a Vietnamese versus Bohemians. Which now basically where do you want to waste precious APM by sending one villager forward as the Vietnamese to try to lame the other side? Obviously, as the Vietnamese, you get to see the town center placement. And since you know the starting town center situation, oh, they're really far apart actually. You could consider sending a villager forward to lane, but the distance is so far, I don't think it's worth it to try to get over here in time for the board, especially since it's a 2 towns at the start as well. They are going to take the boars earlier. Idle TC again, of course, as to be expected on a 2 town center start with standard resources. Maybe this map would benefit from a little bit extra food to start, just to make sure you could actually keep the town centers more fluent. But I didn't decide this, so I wouldn't know. Looks like they've been able to spot all of their herdables this early. Illusionist also, or Team Blue also, realizing they have a pretty easy wall off here between the small woodlands. It's going to keep the gold safe, keep a little woodland safe, and you can expand later on. But just to keep any early aggression out here for the Bohemians, which will probably allow the blue side to focus on Bohemians' maybe more stronger side, which is the closed map side of Arena. Don't really see a fast imp monk trap happening in a scenario like this, but you could still apply some early pressure with the Bohemians, of course, and at the same time make the Arabia side a more closed one. Vietnamese not with the same kind of mobility as the Poles or the other civilizations in the draft for the red team, so that could play into Blue's advantage. They were subject to huge raids last game. Might be less of a concern this time around. A little bit of a scouts run in here. Let's see if they commit. Dead even on the hit point side, trying to micro their way to a win here for Iron Blue, trying to get some sneak hits in, but seems to want to flee back to home base. Looks like the walls will complete for Blue as well. Red playing it fully open, and honestly a little bit of an unfair map generation in terms of walling, unless we're going to see the same approach for Red on this side. It is a little bit more open. And there we go, villager brought to help out the fight. That means one villager going idle as well. But it didn't really work out like Blue would have wanted it to. Let's see if the micro is on point here. That's the kind of micromanagement you don't want to have to deal with at this stage in the game, though, when you are setting up the economy and getting things going. But the blue team is still ahead in No, no, no. Red team is ahead in villagers. Never mind. I'm guessing one team has loom and the other doesn't because blue is somehow ahead in villagers count here. Yep. Red got loom, blue didn't. Is this a desert? No, there were boars, but if the boars are far away, you'll want loom just to be safe. Blue looking to deny some walling here. Does not commit. Probably doesn't want to lose the scout on this side. Now, one lumber camp on either side, which means it's going to be significantly harder to deny wood income from Team Hoy. Village uptime is quite comparable again, the main difference being the idle town center situation here. Villager count dead even as far as I can tell. Let's see what the village brings. Market for the Bohemians. And blacksmith. Okay, yeah, so blacksmith market on the Arabia side to fortify the walls further on this side. Now going to stone for defensive or offensive purposes remains to be seen. Castle Age on the way for blue. Team Hoy lagging behind to the Castle Age. But okay, it's about 15-20 seconds. Couple of villagers moving forward here now for the illusionist team. What's the idea here? Is this going to be a monk rush? It's only 2 villagers, so this is definitely not a forward castle drop. It's certainly going to be a micro-intensive offense here from blue, if that's the case. Uh-oh, there's Wolf. There we go, and he's already weak! What the hell? Why did he turn back? I guess they were out of sight somehow. Out of the woods line of sight. Wolf's line of sight. Backaxe! Is it going to be archers and towers then, or what's going on here? Barracks for the spearmen for the monk rush? He doesn't have loom. I didn't realize that papaya bit. That's funny. Still no loom and 2 villagers forward for the illusionist. How easy would that be for red to take out if red still had the scout alive? But that's not the case here. Double monastery, as red is playing the eco game here. Could be sendable blue as well. So this is going to be a monk siege push with a triple town center economy behind it, potentially. Spots the siege. Probably expects this at this point. No huge surprises here, but it's always nice to know how many monasteries and whatnot to have to deal with here. 4 town centers now for Blade. Okay, so the wolf bugged because of the difficulty. Or, it's technically not a bug if it was on hard difficulty. because then it won't be as aggressive, the wolf, I guess. Yeah. Obviously knows what's coming here now. Red team, couple of defensive towers and university coming up as well, which means that guard tower can be researched. Guard tower defense usually have quite efficient against Monk's push because, or at least until you get to Imperial Age with block printing and trebuchets. The neat little trick here, if you just target the wall, then the mangonel would be hitting the ram. But if you target attack ground behind the wall, the mangonel still deals damage to the wall, but the ram doesn't take damage from the mangonel hits. That's a lot of TCs even from bystander. Well, they start with 2 TCs per pipe hit, so that kind of helps. So you should adjust your standards to reverse. Why aren't we garrisoning in the ram here? It would move faster. Spearman would be safe from tower fire. Yeah, who am I to judge? These are 2K players. There's a plan here. Looking for another point of entry. Oh, stuff happening on the other side. Also a forward siege workshop, but not going to be reinforced by bonks here. Most likely look at that gold, or look at that juicy, safe gold in the backside here for the illusionists. Safe for now, at least. Looks like we have a couple of good mangonel hits in here, but since the monks have fervor and sanctity in, they will withstand at least one mangonel shot. But looks like they're bailing away. Oh, are we gonna snipe? We're gonna get a mangonel snipe there? No. So good defense from Team Red so far. Looks like we might see a castle drop forward here, and the Imperial Age shouldn't be too far away either. So transition this kind of failed Monk Siege push into an Imperial Age Monk Treb push could be. Team Hoy nowhere near an Imperial Age transition here. Redemption is in, as we can see as well, so the Mangonel simply gets deleted so as not to give it away to the opponent. There's also enough stone in the back, using the market to buy stone for the castle because Illusionists team also needed a defensive castle on this side. The clever early walling here is going to keep the very compact base here safe from any forward aggression, especially with this castle, which ranges most of the angles where Hoy's team could get proper damage in. I said they were far away from Imperial Age, but here it is. Had to trade a little bit of the market to get there, but 1 minute 20 seconds maybe difference here. I believe this castle would range both of these guard towers, so you won't need your trebuchets to take out those. You could actually just start punishing the economy already. Villager-wise, Team Hoy is far ahead because they have had more town centers all along. Haven't had much success taking out any economy of the Illusionists team, though. No villagers have died this game, can you believe that? No villagers lost so far this game. Chemistry on the way for the Bohemians as well. They can research that in the Castle Age, which means you will be instantly be able to queue bombard cannons and hand cannoneers. Well, not instantly, as chemistry has to complete, but close enough. Mangonel micro from red there, although losing one Mangonel to a Monk's conversion on this side. I'm expecting block printing to come in for the Monks soon here. Trebuchets in the queue. Bad news for red, who admittedly has a castle up in the back here looks to be going for... What's it going to be? It's going to be skirmishers here, possibly, because converting skirmishers gives very little value. We have rat archers from the castle as well. It could be just be a means to still benefit from the... or still make use of the archery ranged upgrades for the rat archers. As the castles might go down, you could still go into crossbows and arbalests here. Mangonel about to be lost to conversion. How is the mark of management? Illusionist gets that one. It's obviously going to go down to Town Center Fire, but the trebuchets are doing work now. They're focusing mainly on the castle. That's the only castle in red space, and there's not enough stone to rebuild one. I mean, seeing a similar progression to the previous game here, where the arena side is lost for one of the sides to a pretty significant push. And because of the walling on the Arabia side, the blue team is relatively safe as well. Got a little bit lucky with the gold spawn here, perhaps, but it's also on the edge of the map, so it's not the most efficient of golds. No escape for red on this side. Team Hoy still got the equal lead in some miraculous way here. Started at the skirmishers now, so going for the trash units now to conserve the precious gold, but the bombard cannons are in. Hussite wagons even being added by the illusionists here. And these siege weapons will just demolish any attempts of Team Hoy to hold against the pressure here with only 27 minutes in. But looks like the Bohemians are in for a very good game here. Also managed to weather the storm at home base, probably because it takes a lot of attention to keep the base safe at this side. Trying to reclaim and reboom on the Arabia side now, since the threat is lower here. But what does that change if you're losing everything on the arena side? It's going to be massive economic losses here for Team Hoy, and it's going to be tough as the Vietnamese to do anything about this Bohemian's death ball that is developing as well. Other towns that are going down, bomber cannons dealing with production buildings as well, using Hussite wagons to raid basically here. They've been buffed recently to work kind of more like organ guns used to do, so they're more efficient against, for example, villagers now. Still fire slowly though. Hermetica Clan in the chat. Hello, hello. Hello and welcome. Looks like the arena side is officially lost for Team Hoy. Still keeping up with the economic situation, still got resources in the bank, plenty of them in fact, and rebooming like crazy on the open side of the map here. But now, with everything lost for red on this side, it allows for the illusionists team to focus fully on the Arabia side. Of course, they can't magically move their armies over to this side, but it's only 10 more minutes or 9 more minutes until the Gaia walls get deleted as well, and you'll be able to move into the Arabia side. Maybe let's see if we're deleting stuff here. I think the Hussite wagons got deleted. Some halberdiers going down as well. Not going to need them. No, the Hussite wagons are still here, but the halberdiers were deleted to make for some more military spice on this side. Slowly creeping up on the Arabia side of the map here. Imperial skirmisher for the Vietnamese, but still no match for the Bohemians' armies of monks with block printing, redemption, and all the other useful technologies you could think of. It's ambitious. Says something about the scouting on the blue side, hoping to claim this goal, but there are already two castles there, so that's obviously never going to happen. How are the elite skirmishers going to do against massive Hussite dragons? Bombard cannon getting some juicy hits in here. Uh, don't see any sign of any siege engineers for either team here yet. Seven more minutes and the walls go down. Imperial skirmishers not going to be very useful for the blue team to convert, but so they're kind of doing job of stalling the gold usage here, managing to take out some Hussite wagons on the way as well. More monsters going up now. Castle to produce trebuchets or just more Hussite wagons potentially. There are some idle armies on this side now, which might serve the illusionist team better if deleted. You could also use these trebuchets to start cutting through the woods just to prepare the armies to move through, because we've still got 5 minutes to go until anything can hit this side. But then again, do you want to open this side at all? Because if the woodlines stay there, you're going to force the red team to onlooker cut through at this point, or cut through the wood somehow to be able to reclaim the arena side. But the army numbers are deceiving here for Team Illusionist. Says 30 military, but at least 10 of those are on the arena side. Will the Vietnamese actually push back here? It's mainly trash units, definitely some trebuchets and bombard cannons joining in there. In fact, enough bombard cannons to swiftly deal with that forward castle. We might have a pushback here, but then you still need to reclaim the other side of the map. So this could be a scenario where the red team completely wins the Arabia side and the blue team owns the arena side. Still some golds and stones to be taken here, so that's going to benefit the blue team a lot in the long run here. Decent now in for the blue. And monks, block printing, monks with redemption could still convert forward cannons at a distance. Looks like we're going to have a forward castle from red here now. Was that actually intentionally deleting units, or was it the Hoofnisse? Maybe it was the Hoofnisse getting a real juicy shot in there. Imperial skirmishers really doing work here. They are stronger than I thought they would be in this situation. I mean, it's a good call because of the monks play of the Bohemians, because converting a single Imperial skirmisher here and there, that's not really going to do anything for you. But they work as a meat shield in front of the bomber cannons, and their damage output is decent enough, and they only cost wood and food. More bomber cannons for the Vietnamese here than there are Hoofnitze for the Bohemians. There's still lots of resources in the back for both teams though, so now we're playing for the long game here to outlast the opponent and reclaim the map. Main gold about to be depleted for the illusionist, but yeah, as mentioned, both teams with gold in the back still. 41 on gold for blue and 3 relics because of claiming the arena side. Archery and Marine is more forward now for the red team. Still got the military lead on this side, I would say, forcing the illusionist into skirmishers here as well. Skirmisher for skirmisher, but the Imperial skirmishers obviously way tankier, being Vietnamese as well, since it's their unique unit and they have yeah, extra hit points and higher attack stats and Yeah, they have the same range, but other than that, they're better in every aspect. Stone situation potentially running low for blue here, which makes it a lot harder to repair or create castles at all. But now we're through this side. We've cut through with Olliers. So that's the sneaky raid from the Bohemians on this side. Now the Hussite wagons from the Arena side, which Red probably had forgotten about at this point. Punching to the walls, re-walling with the gate as well to make sure that Red can't easily counter raid here. Splitting the map in half here, but with the push going on at Red's home base here now, there's going to be lots of economy going down. Long term, it's going to be an issue, but the Team Red has also been conserving gold for so long that it's not, it's far from disaster just yet. Forward castle going up here, Imperial Skirmishers doing their best against the Hussite wagons, almost managing to take out the Hoofnisse here, but the micro management is on point for the Illusionist, getting to repair the Hoofnisse at this angle. And also trying to get an Onigay hit in there on the Imperial Skirmishers. 12 Rangers producing Imperial Skirmishers for the red team here. Just a few bomber cannons, that's all they have. And it's still working because it's really conserving their gold. And allowing them to push the blue team back slowly but steadily. And now since the blue team has done most of the cutting job, you could more easily break through on the blue arena side as well. Or maybe make a cut of your own elsewhere. Just to distract the blue team and not allow them to have full focus on just one side. Line on stone, but not collecting stone quickly enough to keep this castle up for long for Team Blue. Desperately trying to keep that one alive. Last line of defense on the left-hand side of the Arabia open side here. Not that much to consider here, as we can see the champion switch coming in for the blue team. Now, that should keep the Imperial Skirmishers from doing too well there, but they still have significant numbers, so if you can keep the group consistent with the Imperial Skirmishers here, they should trade decently against the small numbers of champions currently out, but that's going to increase quickly, of course, with lots of barracks producing. Spamming champions left and right here for Team Illusionist, but that's a costly switch, takes a lot of gold and food to get two fully upgraded champions, but we're almost there, just missing the last attack upgrade. And the red team currently don't really have an answer to the champion situation. Castles for rat and archers perhaps, but the resources now, with all of the raids from blue running relatively low, looks like Arbalest is going to be the response to the champion switch here. But with what economy? Must have been some serious trading here earlier on, no? A little bit of wood selling. The Bracer fully upgraded, except for our blessed now for the red side. Will it be enough? 30 crossbows now. Should be able to deny this castle, assuming you can dodge the Hofnisse projectiles here. Yeah. Good job at focusing villagers there and focusing the army group to deny the blue team this hill. A couple of siege workshops going up here. Are the red team going to stabilize here again? They are matching, they are even outmatching the other team in population. Back on the Imperial skirmishers, obviously no Arbalest anytime soon. That's going to cost you food and gold. So there's still some time to go for that. Obvious advantage for blue is the extra resources on the side. There's still gold to be mined here. They might even have forgotten about that one, but it's definitely there. Yeah, definitely gold inside of the home base as well. May have already taken the arena gold. 3 relics and half of the map still with gold for blue is huge here. Because it means that blue will be able to sustain the gold units production, which we're seeing here. Siege engineers now in as well. Another range for the Hufnitze. Getting deadlier by the minute. Team Hoy defending incredibly well here, but not well enough to withstand the late game Bohemians pressure with the seemingly infinite access to gold. Yeah, pretty impressive KD here for the Bohemians. Says something about the trash unit investment, the Imperial skirmishers for the red team as well. That's mainly the numbers of units going down there. It's units costing only wood and food, so conservative gold resource situation, even with all of that pressure from the blue team, is disturbingly similar here. So says something about how well the red team held for a good while there. This villager's 164. That doesn't leave much space for army, but seem to work out for them still. Right. Going in for a game 3. Right. Mm, mm, mm. Which leaves us what? Malians, Koreans, Vikings to pick. Malians being the very last one. But that's just a steal, so maybe just to take it away from Illusionist's team. May not intend to use them. That's the same thing, although not the same thing happened with Bohemians. Bohemians got stolen. I feel like Bulgarians would be a nice one for the setup like this with the cheaper town centers and the potential of Hofnitze and no Hofnitze, I say Krepos and Codex to claim the map. But we have game 3 on the agenda here. Here comes Koreans versus Sicilians. Where we're not done seeing castles, that's for sure. And now the TCs are spawning on the same side. I guess that's random then, because the previous game had TCs in the warning. Could be a bug as well, something that needs to be remedied, but sure how much of a difference that makes. It is a closer spawn, much closer spawn now between the Arabia side players, so that should be interesting to follow. Koreans, War Wagons, or Arbalists, or Siege Onagers for that matter, comes to mind, whereas the Sicilians have much better mobility, strong cavalry options with Hauberg in the Imperial Age for the Cavaliers to get some extra defensive stats. And definitely the more mobile sieve here, the Sicilians also building castles and town centers more quickly. Co-op shenanigans, I like it. Yes, this sort of Smoke a Lot's initiative. This is just a pre-tournament match, a show match, if you will, and they have a what is it, 8 or 16 teams bracket. Probably eight teams bracket leading into final. Let's see how much of it I'll be able to cover, but semis and finals perhaps as we go. I don't think I can cover it all. Yeah, it's a community tournament in a small Discord of where these guys are members. So, and they're all in the 2K plus area, 2K2 plus even. So they're solid players. But that doesn't mean it makes it easier to cooperate. Maybe far from it, because they they probably have their separate ways to play and to coordinate. That has to be a nightmare in many aspects. There's a market for co-op tourneys, huh? I would never play one, never ever, but I might watch. And this map certainly suits the co-op team perfectly, as you have one arena side and one Arabia side. So you could have one arena specialist and one Arabia specialist work very well as a combination on at least this particular map. Look at these guys bumping all into each other. The Sicilian team has struggled a little bit more with the food situation here, or rather the idle TC situation. Alright, yeah, we tried to mix the teams up for Arena and Arabia. Yeah, that makes sense. That shows in the strategic way the games have played out so far as well, that they really know how to push on the different kinds of generations. We are going to most likely be looking at a Koreans team going up significant or yeah, significantly earlier this game. Still two villagers losing for the illusionists side. 5 villagers to go now to sustain gold both for the fast castle and potential archers production, maybe, or maybe it's just going to go for the arena side push again with castle and war wagons. This is a much harder map to wall completely for both sides here on the Arabia side, so that means that we're going to see more action early on the Arabia part of the map as well, I think. So in the end, it's 30 seconds ish difference between the uptimes here. Some greedy walling going on here, all the way to the edge of the map. You need to close this in towards the DC. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But up against the Sicilians, though, they have the mobility as mentioned. They could just path through with the scouts or knights or whatever. We haven't really seen feudal age play on this map, and I think it doesn't necessarily make sense either, because you have a closed side that needs your attention as well for map control and essentially free resources if you're able to push them in the arena side, because there's no escape on this side of the map. Uh, isn't red fighting uphill here? That was kind of weird. But gets to pick off the blue scout. Blue is now effectively blind to what red might be up to over here. Doesn't have any scouting intel on where the golds and stones are. All the more reason to play the mobility for the Sicilians here to move around with some scouts and or knights to at least get an idea of where the core resources are. And they always find a way to wall, of course. Here we go towards the edge of the map, and similar procedure as in the previous game to keep the raids out. So, Koreans out to scout the blue side here now, realizing it is not fully walled. Just now starting to collect stone, whereas the Sicilians are probably going to go right into town centers here because of the faster building town centers and the fact that they start with extra stone. I think you'll be able to get TC up on this hill to collect the stone over there. That could definitely secure the main goal over here as well. No farms yet for the blue side, just benefiting from the fact that there's still herdables and berries left to take. A little bit different economic approaches here, but you can't delay the farms too long either. It's going to make it hard to keep your economy working. Town center on the gold, surprisingly not on the main gold. This is interesting. This is kind of inviting red. Imagine if red is somehow able to get a castle up on this hill, then you're suddenly all out of gold on this side. A little sneak to the side here from the Sicilians. Siege workshop. Do we have a siege tower castle drop incoming here, perhaps? No, bails on that idea. No. Interesting. But true. With the castle age guard tower rush for the Koreans here. That's funny. Completely unprotected Koreans villagers moving out. Blue not realizing that there's a tower going up over here. Castle Age Tower Rush. I like it. It's gonna be annoying. Maybe Blue thinks this is just one villager trying to sneak and get some sneak buildings up, but once the tower completes... it is a different story. Walling in the tower foundation as well, of course, and starting another one over here. Guard Tower Rush. That's not something you see every day. Meanwhile, on the arena side, we have a siege workshop up forward, but nothing too interesting going on here just yet. Would actually be able to punish quite a bit of the economy here because of the way the red team has placed the town centers here. I wonder if blue knows. Sees that one. Sees that one. Mangonels could honestly push this situation quite bad, and Koreans, to my knowledge, don't have redemption, so you also can't convert siege weapons. Oh no, they're just flexing the micro skills here, saving the villager over here. Who needs castles when you can have towers like this? These two villagers being chased, but they're going to go back to the towers to seek refuge over here. And it's only a matter of time until the red team manage to get up a tower here to deny the golds as well. 2 golds here. Good map reading, to be honest. Blue also hasn't found the neutral or third gold over here. Has had enough of the tower shenanigans now. Forcing up a castle with the Sicilians here. Easy. No problem at all here for the blue team. Sicilians build so much more quickly. That's not going to be an issue at all. But it does delay the aggression on the arena side as well, because might have wanted the castle on this side as well. Are the villagers still alive? Are we going to see some military buildings over here as well, or just more towers for the plain annoyance of things? Doesn't even quick gate or anything to keep these villagers annoying. Another castle for the Sicilians now. Just wants to be rid of all of these towers at home base seems almost a bit excessive here, but at least you're going to get to clean up the forward finally and focus on the other side again. Me and Huggy co-op says happily Andy. That didn't work out for you, did it, huh? I mean, I think Blues defense has been on point so far, but Team Hoy, they have managed to keep the opponent busy enough so that they are able to establish a small eco lead here. Very little army military so far in this game. Siege Workshop, or rather Mangonel forward now, but the Koreans instant guard towers upgrades. Is gonna keep the Mangonel away here. It's an annoyance, but it's merely a little tickle to the red side over here. Land Madness repeat, yeah. So that's what you did on Land Madness. The co-op challenge with rum. Well, the Sicilian's castle going up should be able to range one of these guard towers as well. But who's gonna build it? Okay, that's about 9 builders committing, okay? Nice. Good scouting information here too. Yeah, I remember your computer having issues, Andy. Good you were able to fix it. Who would have thought that pouring alcohol on the computer would be bad for the computer? I think I need to find that Socotra game and cast Huggy. That would be pretty epic. Yeah. That's gonna be a couple of patches back though, so that would take some work, but maybe the downgrade tools would be able to help. Yeah, it's broken long ago, that's true. So red team sort of claiming the open side here, or at least limiting the blue side's expansion with keeps now going up. Imperial Age in well ahead of the Sicilians actually, which means that if they had had castles on the Arabia side here, they could start contesting these structures with trebuchets as well. Only 30 seconds to go until the Sicilians are in the Imperial Age though. Which would be bad news for the guard tower defense on the red side over here. Elite Sergeant coming in for the Illusionist. Are we going to see some first Crusade here? No, there aren't nearly enough town centers for that. Still a good unit, obviously. Koreans might need to go into mass arbalest to deal with the Elite Sergeants, and even then, it's not going to be too efficient. Looks like we'll have a siege ram Upgrade here to deal with keeps all around the field here for the Koreans as well. As we are about to break through the walls here, but with what units we have? We do in fact have First Crusade coming in here. But for how many do we have? 5,000 hunters? They're going to be all over the place, these sergeants, or some of them are going to spawn on this side. This is not ideal for a First Crusade. It's going to be 14 sergeants here and 21 on the other side. But maybe it's going to... I mean, it's an instant boost of military to help your push on either side. But it would certainly make more of a difference if you have everything on the same side. I guess we have the castles here to add more sergeants, so yeah, elite sergeants being added. That's twice the military now for Team Illusionists here. Keeps should be doing decent here. We obviously have Bracerin. I'm not sure what Halberdier has to do with everything here now. Maybe expecting the Sicilian Cavalier at some point. Beefy, these elite sergeants. 11 plus 4 attack, they have 85 hit points as well. I don't remember off the top of my head if Sicilians get arson as well, but if they do, they'll take out buildings more efficiently as well. Consistent flow of sergeants from the castles have been for a while here now. And on the other side here, we have hand cannoneers prepared for the Koreans. They research arson. Gotcha. That's a lot of dungeons. That's not going to help you if you can get uh, if you can't get anything to deal with the hand cannoneers, halberdiers, and some siege weapons here for the red team. That should be more than enough to clean up the blue situation on this side of the map. Blue Hauberg is coming in okay. Food, gold situation should allow for cavaliers as well. Do we have stables on this side? We don't really. We have it on this side. So it's the main focus is on the Arabia side. Well, the sergeants take less damage against hand cannoneers, really. Less bonus damage. Interesting. High hit points and less bonus damage against hand cannoneers. Yeah, that I had no idea about. Oh, petards, but these are 45 volts. I don't think 2 petards are going to be enough. Let's see. Siege Round deals area damage, so that shouldn't... quick houses shouldn't be enough there. Team Hoy with the stone wall, trying to buy time here. And... stop raids from entering this arena. So this is going to take a lot of attention though, so it might make it harder to focus on defending the other side while this is going on. Stables up on this side as well. Now the wolves are working. Siege Ram still not getting in. We need some siege support here. A Scorpion or a Mangonel here to stop the quick walling behind here. The forward castle is long since dealt with by the red player here. And the division of armies seem to work better for red here, because they still keep making the Korean keeps. Suppose you could make an argument for bombard towers eventually as well. And splitting the army numbers nicely now. Slowly pushing back the arena side here while keeping the aggression out. Alright, good hit with the Mangonel there. They're surprisingly efficient against a large group of sergeants there. It's like both teams have overroomed now. I guess that's a risk with co-op playing that everyone wants to keep queuing builders like you usually do, but if they both do, they're going to end up queuing too many of them. Sicilian siege rams pushing down the keeps now, so gaining some terrain on the Arabia side, but the push on the arena side has come to a halt, kind of. Still, oh, looking for openings here, manages to find an opening, or manages to make an opening, rather, with an Onigiri cut on this side. Smart move, but the raids are not going to be allowed inside here, I don't think. Sergeant's moving in to block the villager from... No, he gets it! Gets it! Oh, the attention to detail here. Siege ramps on the Arabia side here now. Not nearly enough military for Team Hoy to deal with the siege ramps at this point. Hand cannoneers, not great against that. We have sergeants garrisoned inside the rams as well, so they move more quickly, some of them. And cavaliers also being used here to deal with the hand cannoneers. Halberdiers, not really a threat just yet, I think, because most of them are on this side. Army numbers is going to be an issue though, because they still keep relatively high villager numbers here. The economy bank for Team Hoy seems higher. They haven't had time to contest relics at all because of the close spawn on the Arabia side, so you have to focus on army numbers and micromanagement more so than collecting the relics, but that would obviously be a great boost to either player if they're able to collect the relics somehow. Could be seen by the Koreans on this side, perhaps. Oh, it's going to be a good cleanup here for Team Illusionist. Cavaliers, once again, moving close to the hand cannoneers and cleaning up the numbers here. Team Hoy struggling to field enough military on the blue side. This is funny, this tower might actually take out this town center eventually. 3 damage per shot. Defensive castles might not last long for the Sicilians on this side. Onagers are in. We're not going to see a siege Onager anytime soon, but that is an incredibly powerful unit for the Koreans if they can get to it. More barracks going up here for more halberdiers in front, hand cannoneers also doing some work here at contesting the closed side. Walls have been deleted. It's past the 40-minute mark, so we could also use these onagers to cut through to make a surprise attack on this side of the Sicilians. Seeing the mobility of the Sicilians put well to work here with the raids all over the place here. But there's a threat that needs to be handled at the closed side as well. Lots of stone going into repairs of the castles now. Bomber cannons. Yeah, manages to keep that castle up actually. And the where to look, these games are so messy. I like red team's position board. The economy situation seems more balanced. But the home base of blue has been largely uncontested for a long while now as well, so that food economy is a lot more fluent, allowing for that consistent spam of cavalry on the open side. Once again, attempting to get some raids in here. Petard is not an option because the castle is so far away. Trebuchet goes down as well. That's lots of wood and gold down the drain for Team Illusionist. Only 10 builders on wood now. Wood is becoming an issue. It seems. Way too few builders on wood. Maybe that's not been communicated well enough. Could put these guys to work though. So, not usually you see that little wood in the bank at this stage in the game. Blue gonna cut through the middle tree line. I would hope he would, but doesn't look like it. Siege Workshop is there. Definitely an option. Onigger's in the queue now, but from where? Okay, maybe we'll see a cut here. Cut here. Could also cut here to get raids in from the backside. Great raids with the Hauberg Cavalier again. Team Hoy now 80 military to Illusionists 60. And still keeping the home arena alive, but that goes for the both of them. So arguably the red team has a more fluent economy running at home base there. And there's the cut. Michi style, cutting through the wood line. Something that red can't see because there aren't any outposts around here. Looks like we might get another cut over here as well. Oh, no, you're nearly going. Oh, that's a great tower actually to to keep cutting from happening on that angle. Even though I'm not sure if that was the intention. Yeah, red seen it. Red seen the Onager. It's now sending military over as well. So now it's turning into a more completely open map here, except for the stone walls around the starting arena. Army strength, I like for the Sicilians more here. But Team Hoy's economic situation is still manageable. But what to do with the increased units flow from both sides here now? The push still not working as they would have wanted on this side either. Hand Cannoneer staying close and taking out the sergeants, trying to take out the trebuchet here. But the constant raids on this other side. Look at the Eco KD, 83 to 16. Way more value from the mobility of the Sicilians here than the more slow Koreans. Koreans get Hussar, so you could make an argument for the Hussar at some point. Just to be able to get some raiding done, but easier said than done with the castle placement and the walls on either side for blue here. I can't believe this castle is still alive with everything that's been going on over here, but you need to field armies on both sides on this map, and that's what's keeping this push from being as successful as it could have been. It's just too much pressure going on the open side, and full walls never really happened at home base for the red team. At some point they wanted to get fortified walls on either side on the blue team side, but they were stopped by the blue armies before that could happen. So now they're paying the price for not being able to secure the home base enough here. Have to requeue villagers. Siege engineers coming in here as well. That's going to give the Onigers one extra range, and the Rams will deal more damage as well. Bomber cannons also another range. But the military situation is escalating for the blue team here now. Villager numbers diminishing for both, yes, but have a look at the mobility and the siege rams pushing down here. Sicilians showing their power now. especially on the open side here. And one of the reasons this castle's still up as well is that the Sicilians builders not only build castles faster, but they repair at a faster pace as well. That's going to go down. Finally, that's going to go down because there aren't any builders here to repair it. But that castle has cost a lot of stone for the blue sides, and it's bought enough time to obliterate the Arabia side of the map here, freeing up Team Illusionists' potential to finally fully contest the closed side of the Korean space as well. Another cut. Quickwall's not really going to keep things out here, but this guy is doing his best. And nice attack ground there to take out the quick walling builder. So much blue on the map now. Sea trams moving over to remove the last few obstacles here, perhaps. Trying for another layer of walls, but there's too much military here to stop that from happening. There's a little bit of initiative from Team Hoy over here. Also an expansion to the middle. Still got gold access, still got affluent wood and food economy running at home base. Still got resources in the bank, but I don't feel like it's not enough to make a comeback here, because half of the map is effectively lost to blue at this point. And then finally a game that plays out where the Arabia side player gets taken out rather than the claustrophobic arena side. We'll attempt another cut here. Red sees what's coming. Might or might not be able to keep that from happening. Panic. Stone walls here all alongside the woodline, but that also removes any opportunity for red to collect wood from this side. Definitely a sizable chunk of halberdiers here, but Sicilians Cavalier, they take less bonus damage from their counter units, and they also have Hauberg in, so they have even better stats, but I think that's enough halberdiers here to be a threat. Oh, I was wondering if they were actually going to be completely trapped here, but not quite the case. Sergeants, elite sergeants, coming over now. Siege Onigger for the Sicilians. So they don't get siege engineers, which makes their siege onagers way inferior to the Koreans. But now with the sergeants mixed in with the remaining siege rams here, the siege rams are going to move much faster, and they're also going to be a very efficient counter to the halberdiers, never needing to go into the champions upgrade here for the blue team, because the elite sergeants will do just as well, and they have plenty of castles and potentially dungeons to produce from here. Still holding this side somehow, and now a huge wave of siege rams to finally break through the arena walls, most likely. It's a siege tower in the queue. Are we going to see a siege tower sergeant's raid here as well? Perhaps. No, okay, there's still some gold to be taken over here from blues. That could be a nice mining camp or town center spot. Still no siege on the go for the Koreans. Probably not going to happen. It's since it's essentially a 1v1 game here, it's a very expensive upgrade to go into, but we do have siege engineers for these onagers, so they still have some extra range. Just a few sergeants moving in with the siege tower there. Siege. We need the siege onagers now from the Lucius. It has been researched. There is one siege onager coming over here to this extreme choke point. Could get a very valuable splatter shot here on these infantry numbers of red. Just desperately trying to make an opening here. Finally, I managed to make an opening for the armies to enter here. Now getting guilds for cheaper trade rates at the market, and once again getting a forward castle up. This push might very well be the death blow for blue, as red desperately tries to quick ball, but will not succeed in doing so. The Hauberg Cavalier now in to raid most of the economy in the back here. Could even one Cavalier in the back now would do so much damage at this site. 75 military to 58. The eco situation somehow still comparable. Only 2 villagers building this castle, but they are Sicilians builders. They build so quickly. It's a pretty darn expensive push for the blue team, and Team Hoy still has resources in the back. They're committing mainly to trash, but they've lost so much of the map control. I think even having decent resources in the bank won't be enough to survive this. Trebuchets, no. Joining the fight as well to deal with this castle at a distance. Still a few siege rams alive. Sergeants have a long way to go from the home base, so might not be enough sergeants here to deal with the halberdiers, but light cap are doing work as well. Just manages to keep that castle up somehow, but now the stone is all gone here for the Korean side. 216 gold to buy stone as well. Sergeants, elite sergeants. Leading up to halberdiers now, about 30 of them out on the field. Some hand cannoneers added, but not nearly enough to deal with the sergeant numbers here. And finally the castle will go down because there's no stone left to repair. He actually buys stone for 215 gold. That's a panic move right there. And another Sicilian's castle going up in the south as well, denying this economy over here. And this is the third game in the best of three, that's why they keep on fighting, but this has to be going into Team Illusionists' hands, doesn't it? Yeah, have a look at the resource situation here. Very low, especially on gold for Team Hoy. Still 20 gold in the bank. Illusionist team also collected 3 relics. Now it's 3 relics to 1, which means a more consistent gold trickle for the blue team. Forward castle has been dealt with. The gold units not quite to be seen on the field now. Castle got denied. Score extremely far ahead for blue though. What's the army composition going to be like here? We need more military from blue now. Only light cap now for the time being. But so much damage has been done to red as well, and gold is going to be a serious issue here. Only 1 relic providing the gold income for red at this point, as this mining camp has been depleted as well. Still gold to be mined here from blue. And in the Arabia home base as well. Okay, there seems to be a hole here by the house on the wall there, so the light cap just casually march in, forcing a reaction from red yet again. Maybe just getting some scouting intel here. Might not be able to do too much, but at least gets to see what's going on here. Could make an onagger cut on this side as well, I guess, at some point. Speaking of onaggers, lots of onaggers in the middle for the Koreans. Unique technology seems to be in because they have lower minimum range if they do, or maybe they don't. But it's an option for the Koreans to go for that as well. Resource situation. Still lots of food and wood in the bank for the Koreans, so you could still pump out more of these halberdiers, but absolutely desperate to conserve the precious gold unit numbers here, like the onlookers, for that to work. And I think the reason Blue is investing so much into light cab now is to conserve or to save up on some of that relic gold. To once again be able to outmatch the red team's units. More stables going up here. Almost 60 farmers, which will allow you to create light cab out of lots of stables here. And a couple of lucky shots on this halberdier group, and suddenly your light cab will be a lot more viable. Nice siege on your micro there from the blue player, also dodging the bomber cannon, which is completely unprotected now from the light cab running in. Halberdiers decently close. Might... Oh, okay, never mind. Not completely unprotected. The on your micro is on point for the red team here, but it's just one big shot from the siege engineer and to change things. Not having siege engineers actually hurt a lot there, because with one more range there you could have hit that group a lot more easily. There it goes. Maybe an accidental delete, I'm not sure, or maybe there's some some team discussion. Maybe one of the players was tired of playing and just, I don't want to do this, and deleted them. But in any case, Team Illusionist with the reverse sweep here, taking the win with the Sicilians in the end. $890 kills for the Sicilians this game. Koreans losing a lot more. I don't know how that's friendly fire, or if it's deleted units, or how that works. Economy is actually comparable here, but the relic situation better for the blue team as they collected more 3 relics. Villager count. Not leaving much space left for army there, but it's yeah, things you have to consider. Yes, when making armies on 2 sides of the map. All right, that's it for the co-op show match. This is for an upcoming or ongoing tournament arranged by Sir Smoke-A-Lot. I'll probably try to cover the semis and finals. We'll see how it progresses. It's a unique and interesting map to follow, so looking forward to that.